Hey guys, Justin here and welcome to today's video. I have put together a patch for you guys who have stereo pedal boards, existing rigs out there, and have a Line 6 Helix lying around, and you want some way of integrating the two together. I put this patch together to solve a problem I had with stereo. I love stereo, it just makes everything sound bigger and wider, but I could not get my big pedal board to send stereo into the camera because of limitations with my recording gear. If you watch my previous, my rig rundown for the big pedal board, I can only record in mono because my interface is a mono interface. So fast forward to October 2018 and my wife got me the Line 6 Helix as a birthday present. And rather than sell everything off and just go with the Helix, I decided to keep two rigs. And for me as a guitar player who kind of does this professionally, I need that kind of tonal variety just to set things up differently. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. For this project, you will need two cables to connect out from your stereo pedal board. And then you will need to know how to route stuff on your Helix. What I did was I took the stereo outs from my last pedal in the chain, and then you want to route those to the back of your Helix, not the inputs because the input is only mono. You want to connect to the send and returns. In the patch I created, I used return 3 and 4 as the input for the pedal board. Now that you've connected the Helix into the return jacks on the back, you want to go to your patch and create two separate lines, since the Helix has two discrete signal paths. Each signal path will correspond to the left and the right. On the input side of things, you want to set it to return 1 or 2 or 3 and 4 depending on where you've plugged them in from the back. You are then going to hard pan the outputs. So signal path 1, you hard pan to the left, signal path 2, you hard pan to the right. And this will give you the truest stereo image that you can have from your stereo pedal board. I personally feel that this sounds the best. This is the best way to get stereo out of a pedal board. I tried doing a giant signal path from path 1 to path 2 and have the 2 amps split into using a split block and then have stereo processing after. But it just didn't sound as wide as I wanted. So the truest stereo image that I could get out of the pedal board was to have path 1 and path 2 process the left and right separately and then mix it down to true stereo with hard pan left, hard pan right on signal path 1 and signal path 2. It sounds very convoluted, but once you use the patch, you'll know what I mean. The last step in this process is to treat the signal paths left and right, whether you want to have the same amp, so you just copy the same amp block to do the two different signal paths. You could do as I did and process the two sides differently. On the left and the right, I have different amps, I have different CAT models. To me, this is one of the advantages of having a dual amp signal path, is that I can have the characteristics of two different amps blended together and have a variety of effects. In fact, I took this concept one step further and I added an EQ block at the end. And what I did there was to introduce some EQ settings that I would recommend for humbucker and single coils, but you could easily use these to tailor the sounds coming from each of the amps to have a bit more high end, a bit more low end, and that would possibly give you a nicer blended amp sound. I've made this patch available for free on Custom Tone. I'll provide the link in the description box below and you can download it and set it however you may like. As always, thank you for watching. This is Justin signing off.